Alright, I wanted to do a quick video of the MotoTec 2000 watt 60 volt go-kart. Couldn't find any video reviews online. There's not a lot of information about them. There's a little bit on some different Facebook groups. So wanted to kind of give you a quick rundown of what it cost, what the assembly was like, and how it rides, what the build quality is, and some of the other features on it. So I bought it direct from MotoTec on their website. They will charge you shipping depending on where it is shipped to which state. And so for me, out the door, I paid a little bit over $2,000. There is an option to have MotoTec assemble it and test it, and then they will bolt it down to a pallet and ship it to you. That option was $200. So I decided to forgo that and see if I could put it together, save a little bit of money. So it went with that. Kind of go over some of the things of how it came when they shipped it. Comes on a pallet, it's bolted down. So some of the required assembly, all the wheels have to be put on. There's a nut on there. The back one I think is a 22 millimeters, a little bit larger. Front one's a little bit smaller. That was pretty simple to put those on. The steering wheel, you have to put that on. There's just one bolt there, not a lot to it. The seat, that has to be bolted in, so there's 4 bolts underneath. Pretty simple to put that on. The difficult part was maybe bolting up the seat belts and running those. You can see in the back there where the seat belts bolt in. There's a couple different spots. So that takes a little bit of time, just routing those. I can show you underneath a little bit where the bolts are for the seat. And then have to put the roll bars together. So these top pieces on the roll bars, I think there's like 4 pieces or so. Those go together really easy. Bolt on the back rack. That's not too difficult. And that's really it. All in all, it took me about an hour. So if you got some basic hand tools, it really doesn't require a lot of skill, and you can save you $200 there on the total purchase price. So overall, I think the build qualities is pretty good. There's not a lot of suspension flex on the front, so a lot of times when you're driving it on uneven surfaces, the tire will come off the ground in the front, so you got to be careful and watch for that. But other than that, I think the suspension rides pretty well for what it is. The seat's pretty good quality. It seems to be pretty soft. It does have a feature where it can adjust there. You can see the lever, it goes back and forth. My son rides this. He's 7 years old. He's got it pulled forward as far as it can go, but it fits him pretty well. And when we scoot it back, I can ride in it as a 5'11" adult. It's not the most comfortable, but it certainly works. One thing to note about the controls, so on MotoTec's website, it does say that there's a 3-way switch, and there's 3 different speeds. It goes from 10, 15, and 25. Well, if you can see there's only a high and low on that switch. So I didn't get a 3-way switch, I got a 2-way switch, and the top speed that we could get it to go was 18 miles an hour. So I contacted MotoTec. They said there should have been a 3-way switch in the box, and if I install that, it will go up to 25 miles an hour. So I can report back on that. I was pretty disappointed. I really kind of wanted that top speed, but I can tell you it does have a lot of torque. It goes up hills with over 270 pounds that have been in it, no problem. So I was glad to see that at least there's some good torque. It can climb the hills. Haven't tested the battery too much. It did say it takes about 8 hours to charge. It seems to last a couple hours or so. I guess that all will depend on how much use. Other than that, there's not a lot to it. It steers pretty well. Once you get going, it's pretty easy for my son. Even though he's 7 years old, he can steer it just fine. It's got this rack on the back where you can haul some things. It's got the net, so nothing falls forward. Did want to say on the build quality, if you can see there were some scratches when it shipped, just around the roll bars. There was a couple places. I think there's another place up there. Really wasn't a big deal to me at all. I know it's going to get scratched up anyway, so that didn't really bother me. I felt like overall it shipped pretty well. They had the seat. Most of the roll bars were all covered up, so that was nice. It does come on an 18-wheeler truck, so there's a liftgate service, but they won't take it too far, so you'll need some way to move it around on a pallet. Unless you, if you get the assembled option, you can probably just take it apart right there. I think there were 4 different U-bolts that had it bolt down together. So if I want, I can do a ride test on it if anyone's interested, but like I say, right now with that switch, it's only going about 17-18 miles an hour. I didn't test the low speed, but I would say it is probably around 10 miles per hour. So that's it. There are some options to upgrade. One thing I did want to say, in the back, it does have a differential. It doesn't have a live axle. So if you're into upgrading and you wanted to change a gear ratio, I know that makes this a little bit different for the MotoTec, still difficult. But I think there's some far drivers and things you can put on it and easily squeeze a little bit more power out of them and a little more torque. But overall, I've really been impressed with it. Had lots of little power wheels and Challengers and other types of little vehicles, and this really seems to be worth the money. I really believe you get what you pay for. So that's all. If there's anything else you want to know, I'd be glad to do another video. Just wanted to put some information out there on it if you're trying to decide whether or not to get one. I've only had it for a couple weeks, so so far so good. Haven't had any problems. I've owned MotoTec dirt bikes before. I know a lot of times there's some little things that go on, some little nuances, so I kind of expect that out of this. But overall, I've really been pretty impressed with the build quality. It's got a great solid frame. Frame seems well built. The welds on it all look good, so impressed with the quality. We'll see how the electronics do. We'll see how the battery holds up. But there are quite a few options out there if you want to change batteries out and change some of the other electronics out. It does came with some Bluetooth speakers. I haven't installed those yet. They're pretty simple. There's battery powered. You just bolt them on to the front roll bar here, and it's got a little remote on it. That's it. It doesn't come with a key. That was something I was curious about. It doesn't have a parking brake either. So there's just an on and off switch. And there is reverse. So you can go forward and reverse. And then, like I say, it should have that 3-speed high, medium, and low switch that it didn't come with. But as far as the brake, you usually just turn the steering wheel. It doesn't roll around too much, but it will roll. There's nothing to keep it from rolling. So that's all I got for today. Anything else you want to know, just post down in the comments. Thanks.